In this video, we'll add a logout button to our Spring application. In the previous two videos, we talked about how we can set up a very basic Spring authentication with GitHub, where we just spin our server up and we are directly redirected to the GitHub authentication page. In the second video, we talked about how we can have conditional logging, where the user first goes to the home page and then you can click on whether to log in or not. And once the user is logged in, we send back the username to back to our default localhost application and display that name. In this video, we'll add a logout button and see how that works. So there are a lot of steps built in here which we need to implement the logout functionality, because we are using a typical jQuery with our application and not using any front-end libraries. So we will need to add some level of code, but if you're using Angular or React, then these steps should be much simpler with the library. So let's get started. Now, the logout feature seems like a simple feature, but it requires a bit of care to implement. So it is worth spending some time discussing how exactly we want to do it. Most of the changes are to do with the fact that we are transforming the app from a read-only resource to a read-write one. So logging out requires a state change. So the same changes would be needed in any realistic application that wasn't just static content. So any content with any application where we want a state change, we will definitely need to do some kind of implementation for our logout functionality. So let's do the changes in the client side first. So on the client, we just need to provide a logout button and some JavaScript to call back to the server, ask for the authentication to be cancelled. First, in the authenticate section of the UI, we add the following button. So we add a div. First, let's always have a div ready so that everything is well in fragmented. We add a button. The button has an on click, and on click what it does logout, and the class is going to have some simple bootstrap classes. So let's have a class. We have button primary. So it's a very simple basic button and it says logout. So this is what we have, a very simple client side changes that we have. The next thing that we need to do is have a script for logging out. So similar to this, we also have a var logout function, which basically does a post to /logout, and it turns the span of user to nothing, a no string, an empty string. We then show an authenticated part where we want to click here to log in again, and we hide the authenticated part, which was this particular thing. So once we are logged out, we don't have to see the logout button anymore. So that is the jQuery that we have here, which helps us with this particular function. So the logout does a post to /logout, which will do the right thing for us, which is basically clear the session and invalidate the cookie. To configure the endpoint, we simply need extend the existing configure method in our web security configure adapter implementation. So let's see how that works. So now all we need to do is have a logout method inside our application. So let's go to our authentication, and here what we do is just go up till here and we can add this particular line of code. So this basically tells our application that whenever we reach /logout, do a logout successful on redirect the application back to the home page, and we permit this inside our application. So the /logout endpoint requires us to post to it and to protect the user from cross-site request forgery, CSRF, pronounced as CSRF. It requires a token to be included in the request. The value of the token is linked to the current session, which is what provides the protection. So we need a way to get that data in our JavaScript app. Many JavaScript frameworks have built-in support for CSRF. In Angular, it's called as XRSF or XOF, but it is often implemented slightly differently than out-of-the-box behavior of Spring Security. For instance, the Angular implementation has to send a cookie called XRSF token, and if it sees that, it will send the value back as a header named XRFS token. We can implement the same behavior with a simple jQuery client And then the server-side changes will work with the front-end implementation with a very few changes. To teach Spring security about this, we need to add a filter that creates the cookie for us. So let's see how we can do that in the backend. So now, before we log out, we need to add a token, right? So let's do that first. We have added token here. So we do a .csrf and we have C. And what we do with this? So we have C and let's do a .csrf token repository, and inside that we have a cookie csrf token repository. We do a with http only false, and this will help us with the server-side implementation of our token. Next, what we need to do is add the csrf token in the client, and for that we will need a JS cookie dependency. So let's first add our dependency. So go to dependencies and the end before the test. All we need to do is add this particular dependency, which is WebJar's JS cookie version 2.1. We read the Maven project again. We make sure that it is working, everything looks good. We can connect to our application, sync it. And once we are able to build it and it is ready, we can then go back to our index and we can then start using it. So now inside script, what we need to do, we need to do an src, and we do that to /webjars /js cookie /js.cookie.js. So we can now use a cookie inside our application. And now just where we are at the end, we need an ajax setup where it basically tells our application that we need these things inside our application to create the cookie. So let's add that functionality inside our application, and then go through the setup once we are done with it. So this is the ajax setup. So we have a before send. So before we send anything, if the request is post, put, or delete, so make sure that we're doing a post, right? So when we have that, we then take up HTTPS, we send the token to the relative URL from settings.url, we create the header as xsrf token, and then we get that back. Then we clear the token from our application. So this is the ajax setup that you need inside your application if you're using jQuery to make sure that your application runs and clears up the token so that it is secure. With these changes in place, we are ready to run the app and try out the new logout button. Start the app, load the home page in a new browser window, click on the login link to take you to GitHub, and then click on the logout app to cancel the current session and return the app to the unauthenticated state. Now, if you're curious, you should be able to see the cookies and the headers in the request that the browser exchanges with the local server. You can do that by hitting the inspect element functionality. Now remember that now the logout endpoint is working with the browser client, and then all the other HTTP requests, put, post, delete, will also work just as well. So this should be a good platform for an application with some more realistic features which we add in the next video. So now that we have our setup ready, let's run the application and see what changes and what we can work with. So just to make sure that we have everything in place, we have the token repository which accepts HTTP only. We have logout successful. We have the dependency inside Spring, which we have the JS cookie. Inside index, we have the ajax support, which makes sure that we get the cookie header and we clear it once we log out. And everything else looks good. So let's run it and see how it works. The server is up, and let's see if we are able to log in and log out successfully or not. And we also have a button, so let's see how that shows up and how it renders on the HTML page. It has started. Open a new private window. Let's do port 8080. So now we have our conditional page. We have via GitHub. So let's actually, first log in to GitHub to see the logout page. We do this, we sign in. And now when we go back to our authorized application, we should see the logout page as well. Okay, so we have come back here. Let me see what's wrong in this place. Probably something to do with the HTML page. We can fix that right now. Let's go to IntelliJ. Let's completely refresh this. So we just need login, right? Yep, everything looks good. Let's see this again. So we have our div, we have divs ready, we have authenticated, unauthenticated, and everything else looks good. So yeah, let's refresh and see if we miss something out. The server is closed. Let's spin the server again. So we need to add the script before the local script. That is the mistake which we made. We have fixed that now, so it should definitely work. Adding the welcome page. Auth runner has started. Let's go to our page. Let's refresh. So we have login. Let's click. And since we already did redirect from GitHub before, we are logged in. We have a nice logout button. When we click logout, we come back to GitHub. So we can log in, goes to GitHub, checks it, we are logged in. When we click logout, we are logged out. And if you want to see how it works behind the scenes, we can do an inspect element to make sure that the network calls are also seen. This has to be responsive. Now let's go to network where we can see the network calls. So first we do a click, we go to GitHub, we come back from GitHub, come back to localhost. When we do logout, we log out and everything else goes away. So this is what happens behind the scenes and we are officially logged out. Again, when you click here, we go to GitHub, we get the code from GitHub and we are authenticated. We do a logout and we get back from GitHub. So this is how we implement the logout functionality with Oauth2. If it's not clear, please put in your doubts in the comment below and I'll definitely answer them. So in the next video, let's add Google as our second optional way for the end user to log in apart from GitHub. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.